What's going on, everybody? Let's see, we got Wild Willie, West Virginia, Jonathan Coachy, Tony, what's up, brother? The formula, what's going on, guys? How's it going, Junkyard Willie? What's going on, Buck Does It? What's going on, Steve Grandell? How's it going today, brother? Yeah, I'm a little bit Junkyard Willie. I took a little bit of a rest and kind of revived the batteries a little bit. So what's everybody been up to today? What's up, Curious Yellow Cuda? Yeah, I appreciate it, Junkyard Willie. The formula, how's progress on Slaghammer coming along? It's coming, baby. It's moving forward little by little. Just put out a video today on it. Yeah, and get everybody kind of updated. Mr. Will, what's going on, brother man? Mr. Rude, Mopar dude, hello. But she's coming along, man. Just doing some painting and stuff. We're waiting on some gaskets to come in. Getting ready to do some electrical on it, brake lines, fuel lines. I guess Jonathan Couchy's having an issue with the stream. Appreciate it, Buck Does It. No, I hear you, Curious Yellow Cuda. We got a paint color for it, but we're gonna wait to the end of the year and then we'll kind of review what color it's gonna be. Tony, the engine's coming along. Like I said, waiting on a master gasket kit to come in. Then that way Tony can start putting the motor together. All right, Jonathan. Big Belly Racing, what's going on, man? Tyson, let's see what you got. B200 360. It all depends, for your daily and stuff. What kind of mileage you're getting out of it. But always check your gaps. I always do manufacturer gapping. You know, it depends unless you're going to advance timing a little bit and change some stuff around like that to experiment. Oh, love you, brother. Love you, brother. Appreciate it, old timer. Big Belly Racing, what is Slaghammer getting for steering? Well, it's not getting power steering. We're running the manual gearbox that was on the D100 frame. Max Wedge, what's up, brother? And even with the mocked-up motor and training in it right now, just pushing it back and forth in the shop, man, it actually steers pretty good. Appreciate that Dutch 572. See Tyson, big heavy clunker. It's a camper van. I'm doing what I can get for MPG, putting in an overdrive. That overdrive will help out a lot. Appreciate it, Paul. See, Jonathan, let's see. Have you ever thought about building one of the truck V10s? One of those Magnum 48 V10s, I think they have a lot of potential. You know what? My son and I thought about building a V10 because when we started doing his race truck, he was wanting to put a V10 motor in it. But it's not off the books, man. It can happen down the road. All-timer F7. Let's see, where and when are the no-name nationals? I really want to make the trip down from New Hampshire. It's in last weekend of October. It's like the October, September, right there in the middle. It's in Sikeston, Missouri. You can go online and search and just type in no-name nationals, and it should give you all the info. Yeah, it would be Big Belly. Truck with V10 with twin turbos. I'm sure someone's done it, but yeah, it'd be nice. Me personally, Big Belly, I have never messed with turbos. I would like to, and that is something that my son and I have talked about down the road because he's actually wanting to put either a turbo in the race truck or maybe in his SRT8. Old timers F7. All right, brother, appreciate it. What's up, Mohawk 62? Max Wedge is just getting a 727. Gear wise, for the power tour, I'm running 323s, and after that, I'm putting a set of 411s in it. Tony, no, they're two different motors. I mean, basically the same type of motor, but they're built differently. One's for a truck application. It doesn't have as much horsepower as the Viper motor does, but you can build them. No problem, Big Belly Racing. Let's see, ability. Whatever converted any cars over to propane? I haven't personally. Greg, I don't know what he's done on that yet. I've been kind of busy off and on between here and the house. So I don't know. I stopped by briefly there today and he wasn't there yet. So No, I mean the truck V10 doesn't have a lot of aftermarket support, but you can still build them pretty nice. You are correct, Jonathan. Well, I mean, Tony and I are already talking about doing another build after Slag Hammer. We're always going to be doing something together. I just don't know what exactly yet. I know my plate's going to be pretty full with Slag Hammer between the Power Tour, No Name Nationals. There's going to be about 4 or 5 events between now and then, plus Sick Week next year. So there's going to be a lot going on with that car and Tony and myself. I appreciate it, Mohawk. It's definitely been a work in progress, that's for sure. Mr. Will, Al, will you do update videos during Power Tour? Yes, sir. I'm going to document the whole thing. Dale, no, I will not be pulling a trailer with it. I'm going to carry basic hand tools with me, maybe like an extra set of points, stuff like that. But basically, the car is going to be set up for that particular event to run on the interstate. That's why we're doing the 323 gears on it and putting the 383 in it. Oh, I hear you, Paul. That happens sometimes, and especially not being fully recovered after getting the COVID back in January. It's been really rough. I just had an appointment today with the pulmonologist, and they want to do CT scans of my lungs. When was it? May 27th, and so it kind of damage is done because I ain't been right since I had it. But I'm trying to do the best I can. Big Belly Racing. Any plans for Drag Week? Not this year. I heard it's already sold out. Jonathan, let's see. You're playing with the 361 still to blow it up. No, I mean we're just gonna send the motor, man. I mean we're gonna sit there and go through it, make sure everything's good on it. Tony's gonna repair the crack in the block, which he's gonna be doing in a video coming up. Um, but I mean we'll see how she does. I hear you, Paul. I'm trying, brother. I'm trying. It just kind of makes it hard because I'm used to working 100 miles an hour, and I'm not even at 50% right now. Oh, appreciate it, Randy. Max Wedge for the Power Tour is going to have a 2800 in it. And then after that, depending on exactly what we're going to do, we're still trying to figure out, excuse me, what kind of converter we're going to run with that 361 and the 411 ratio. All right. Now we got a 3500 in my son's race truck, and it actually does pretty decent on the road as long as you keep it in tow mode. But yeah, you start getting high on the stalls, man, you can burn them out. Burn that tranny up. Oh, appreciate it, Mohawk. Yeah, it was nice seeing everybody over there during his grand opening. He was going to try to do another one, but man, the response was so overwhelming, and there was no room over there because the landlord kind of said something about the last one because there were so many things that showed up. But we'll see about doing one down the road. Got to get with Tony and get him talked into doing it. What's up, Wild Rose Garage? How you doing, my brother? And yeah, I know I shouldn't be smoking either. I went from 2.5 packs a day down to about less than a pack a day now. What's going on, Roger? Yeah, actually, that was a couple weeks ago, Paul. And yeah, I got my charger at about 140, and that 350Z kind of said he had enough. I appreciate Jim. But that's actually as fast as I've had that charger since I've had it, and it still had plenty of fuel or gas pedal left. And I'm not even finished building that charger either. I ain't even got a tune on it yet. So Wild Road, how's that motor coming together, brother? Yeah, I agree with you to an extent there, Wild Road. My problem is my cigarettes is kind of like other people's pot and stuff, man. It keeps me chilled out. Um, the longest I quit both times was 30 days, and everybody said, well, hell, you should have been done with it. And I actually did hypnosis one time, and when my other half was pregnant with Ethan, and I wanted nothing to do with a cigarette after I went through hypnosis, but I was still having the withdrawal really, really bad. And then she finally came to the point like, either you need to start smoking again or get the hell out of the house. The second time is when I came down with N1H1 about 6 years ago, and I quit for about 30 days because I couldn't even breathe, and much less even try to light a cigarette up. But yeah, it's definitely just out of habit. Tony, mine's got a regular 5.7 in it. I did the Eagle head swap in it, Eagle intake. I turned around, took the car cam out of it. I put a truck cam in it because I wanted some more bottom end torque. And as far as gearing right now, it's got a 308 get rag in it. The Dougster, what's going on, brother? Dude, I hear you, Roger. When I came down with it, man, I couldn't even, hell, I even thought about lighting a cigarette when I came down with COVID, man, and I just couldn't do it. But but it's one of those things, man. That's my last crutch. Hell, I done quit everything else. Bad Tree Production, what's going on, guys? Doing great, doing great. Yeah, Paul, that's kind of my issue because the job I have, I drive a truck. And when you're in that truck by yourself, man, there is not a whole lot to do except for a lot of thinking and watch people piss you off, either cut in front of you and everything else. Um, the last time I quit was when I had the N1H1 and I got back on the road. Was doing a run down to Tampa, Florida, just crossed over into Florida on 75. And some guy was looking at his phone in the northbound lane, shot over to me and hit the side of my truck full blast. And it took everything I had to keep my truck in one lane. And as soon as that happened, and I got done there and got back on the road, first thing I did was picked up a pack of cigarettes. Bad Tree says he's still recovering on the night from Dallas. How'd that go, brother? I ain't had a chance to watch that live yet. Shade Tree Garage, what's going on from Pike, Kentucky? I've been trying it comes in a little can. I think it's called One, and they're like little nicotine pouches. And that's kind of been helping a lot. And now I've tried the other stuff, man. I tried the Chantex, I've tried Wellbutrin. I hear you, Mohawk. It's kind of like the Jerry Garcia syndrome. That man did everything underneath the sun, and he quit everything cold turkey. Then he turned around and passed away. Damn. Sorry to hear about that, Doug. Well, that's cool, Battery. Oh, I understand, Roger. It takes willpower. I keep telling myself every day I'm going to quit, but hopefully one of these days I will. Yeah, Paul, I even tried the patch too, man. It didn't. It was really messed up. Well, I tell you what's really funny. Years ago, when I tried to quit, when they saw that Wellbutrin helped and people that wanted to quit. What's up, Mopar Pickups from Cali? And that actually made me smoke more. I went back to the doctor and said, "Well, how you doing with it?" I said, "Well, I went from one pack today to almost two being on this medication." To say the least, he took me off of that real quick. Oh, I hear you, Mohawk. I mean, I've been on the road for a while, man. I've got about another 2 years. I'm going to call it quits. No, I hear you, Wild Rose. I tell you what, my original bass player, he quit smoking. He got on that Chantex, and it messed him all up. He was like having a nervous breakdown. They had to get him off that. But like a lot of y'all say, at the end of the day, man, it's willpower. I mean, I just got to do it, and then everybody's just got to chill with me until I get through it. Oh, I wouldn't doubt it, dude. I heard that messed with a lot of people mentally. Wow. I hear it, say true. Yeah, I started smoking when I was like 15, man. But yeah, me and the lung doctor had a long talk about that today because he asked me how much I smoked and where I was at now, and but I guess the truth to be told, here on the 27th, they did the CT audit. What's going on, Mopar Man 78? I hear you, Mac Wedge. See, that's my thing too. I'm 54 now. And I think of both ways. And then, I don't know. I like to live a little longer. I mean, my dad passed away at 61, and his brother died like 2 years later. So I want to try to live a little longer. So we'll see what happens. I hear you, Bad Tree. I'll tell you what's bad about it is, I mean, when I'm at home, I actually really don't smoke a whole lot. I mean, I'm down here in my basement. I've got my French doors opened up down here, but as far as upstairs, I don't smoke in the house. I hardly smoke when I'm at home. It's usually when I'm out on the road driving or, just really into something. But other than that, man, when I'm at home, man, it's like, I don't know. Hell, I don't even like the smell of the smoke in my house. Yeah, like I said, Bob Bump, I tried the well at Beecher and it just didn't. It made me smoke more. I hear you, Roger. Damn, Mohawk. uh, I did that one time. I got one of my dad's cigarettes when I was 8 years old, and he caught me doing it. And he was pissed, man. He sat there and made me smoke a whole pack of cigarettes in front of him. And man, I turned green and threw up all over the place. I thought back then I don't want nothing to do with it after that. Right, Doug? But I know a lot of people on here, and through my comments in my other videos, have been asking about t-shirts. I'm almost ready, set to go with those. I've got the design made up already. All I got to do now is get things loaded up, and I'm probably going to be going through Teespring for my shirts for right now. And then thinking about doing some limited edition mechanic shirts, which those will be done in house. So hopefully all that stuff will be up and rolling here in the next couple of weeks. I hear you, Bob. I hear you. John, what's the topic of the day? Anything you want to bring up? We got slag hammer going on. Anybody wants to talk about what we worked over the weekend with my son's 300 SRT8? Um, right now, I've got a '06 in my garage. I'm getting ready to pull the motor out of it and diagnose what's the issue with that. I'm already starting to put a video together on that. We can talk anything we want, man. Appreciate it, John Carter Willie. Dude, I remember the vending machines. Oh my god. I hear you, Battery. It's like with Kathy. I mean, they do a lot of their shirts in house, but I know they're doing more in Teespring now. But they're doing like limited runoffs. They're still doing those, and they've got the whole setup there. It's kind of cool. I like to watch it from beginning to end one time. Big Belly Racing, what's your thoughts and opinions on the third gen Hemi? Well, considering my whole driveway's filled up with them, we can go any way with it. I mean, it's got its ups and downs like every other motor, but I like them. They're easy to build. You can make easy horsepower out of them. Oh yeah, the good old bowling alley vending machines. What's going on, John Wilburn? How you doing, brother? Mister Will, let's see. What got you into the new Hemis? It was just one of those things, man. I guess it all started back in '03 when Dodge came out with their Hemi pickup truck, and then when they came out with the Magnum, I kind of got hooked back then on that, and just started dabbling a little bit in it, and found out you can make them go faster, and so and just fell in love with them. Let's see here. Kevin, have you ever supercharged one of your Gen 3s yet? No, because it costs too fucking much to do it. You know, unless I find me a nice used one online or something. I mean, the setup we were looking at to do for the truck, man, was going to be almost $7,000. You know, I've seen them used from the Hellcats and stuff, anywhere from $1,200 to $5,500, and you're just getting the you're just getting the supercharger. You're not getting the pulley system with it. You're not getting the coolant reservoir with it. But we'll see. I hear you, Wire Rose. All these new motors make stupid horsepower out of the factory. I hear you, Battery. As usual, Chevrolets are usually the ones. But yeah, the LXs are starting to become a little bit cheaper now. But the parts are still kind of high. Yeah, Big Belly Racing, LS do. I mean, Chevrolet always had good support. I mean, it's always kind of been that line. You had Chevrolet, Ford, and Dodge or Mopar. I mean, it's always been that way ever since back I was a kid. Chevrolets were the cheapest ones to build, all the way up to the most expensive with with the Dodge and stuff like that. Right, Jonathan? Are the Diablo chips worth getting? You talking about the chips, or are you talking about the tutor? Because I know a lot of people use Diablo, a lot of people use HP. Um, I know my son, he's wanting to get ready to, what is it, the Diablo Trinity, something like that. And you can use that one to on any vehicle. I think you can register up to 5 vehicles with it or something like that. That's what he's wanting to get for his 300. I'm still kind of keen on the HP myself. I like the laptop aspect of it. Battery says he likes the Trinity. I hear you, Doug. But I ain't got nothing against Diablo, man. I've got one right now in the garage that I use for certain things. Yeah, I've seen it shade tree. I watched the video on it and stuff. I don't know, Jonathan. I haven't gave too much thought about it yet. Oh yeah, I mean tuners and stuff, man. I mean they're nice. I mean you can average about anywhere between 10 to 35 horse with a tuner these days on these cars. What's going on, Harry from Australia? Let's see. John says I heard a tuner can add 50 horse on a Magnum V10. I mean, it's hard to say, man. I mean, it depends on the tuner. I mean, it might not. In my experience with the tuners and stuff, where they're saying you can get 45, 55, 65 more horse. For me, on the average, I've seen with tune, it's like 35, 40 horse as an average. Oh, there you go, Mohawk. Yep, you're right. White trash, big games require custom tunes. We had to do the custom tune on Ethan's race truck. Kent Ward, have you used a Carbon Gen 3? No, I have not. Uh, Probably one of my bills coming up. I probably will. Have a good one, Bad Tree. We'll see you down the road, brother. Big Billy Racing, how much horsepower do you figure at 8,500 or 518 can handle? Not really sure. See you, Greg. Oh, okay. I thought you were leaving too, brother. But no, I tell you one thing I like to start learning though is the tuning aspect, and because that was the biggest handicap for me when I started with the Gen threes and stuff. And then when we built Ethan's race truck was the tuning aspect. So I always had to go take it to somebody and just watch them doing their magic and stuff is something I really want to learn and since I really want to get into, along with doing the old stuff. I mean, I'm one of these type of guys. I love to learn, and something excites me. I go for it, and I think it's the next thing in my what I'm wanting to do. What's going on, Bo Hardit? You are correct, White Trash. You know, it's like with transmissions and stuff. I'm actually going to start tearing into one of my first transmissions ever. I figure it's about time that I've learned how to tear them apart and put them back together. What's going on, Southern Cover? Happy Monday to you as well. But I'm just the type of person I love to learn. I love to absorb information from other people, and or get their opinion on what they do versus how I do something. So this is like, I mean, like I said, man, I'm an open sponge, man. I just love to learn. I hear you, Jonathan. That's what I've heard about the NAG ones, man. And I think that's why I'm wanting to do it because I've seen how easy they come apart. All right, Mohawk brother, have a good one, man. Kent Ward is asking, what have I found to be the strong point and the weak point of the Gen 3? Well, the strong point is you can make stupid horsepower with. The weak points, of course, everybody's talked about the lifters and the cam failures, the oiling issues, and for me, it's like with any other motor, it's got its good and its bad. Um, Me personally, with all my Gen 3 stuff, I don't have an issue with the oiling problem and stuff. Of course, I've got my stuff set up to where the oil pressure is just a little bit higher. Oh, appreciate it, Mopar Dan. Well, I'd say the biggest thing with the Gen 3 stuff, and this is my personal experience because I buy a lot of my vehicles I've got here already blown up. And the biggest issues I've seen with these things, like with the drop valve seats and stuff, they've been overheated. I found one vehicle had nothing but just regular water in it. Not changing the oil, not using the right oil filter, and a lot of it is neglect for the majority of it, and a lot of it is manufacturing issues. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what kind of motor or what car you got, man. If you keep up the maintenance and oil change and stuff like that, it usually runs out pretty good for you. It's like when we got Ethan's truck, it had 261,000 miles on it, and we pulled that motor out, sold that motor, and that's been 4 years ago. And I told the guy it's going to need some valve seals in it because it had a little puff of smoke in it when it first started up. And he dropped it straight down in his truck, and he's still driving today. So there's no telling how many miles is on that 5.7 right now. But I thought it was funny the other day. I put out that video on bringing that 68 satellite back to the shop from Kiwis, and there was a few guys that commented on there. It's like, oh, you should have got on it, or I was being too gentle with it, and you know. And then at the end of the video, was shooting Tony doing the burnouts with it, and I look at it this way, but it's not my car, so I treat it like it's not my car, and not knowing everything that was going on with that car, I didn't want to dig into it. And I mean, it's got some issues going on, but Tony will probably get all those straightened out. The main thing I was seeing, besides no brake issue, was it was getting a bad vibration in it in the drive line. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's someone else's car. Now, a man told me do what you want with it and rip into it. I probably would have done it, but other than that, I don't know. I guess that's just me. Now, my cars, I give them hell. Shade tree. Let's see. The worst one I seen was, I guess, probably my Charger when I bought it, and when I tore the motor down in it, it had dropped 5 valve seats in it, three on one side, two on the other. I mean, it just totally just toasted everything in it. And a lot of them I get is with the sludge. I mean, dirty ass wallet, cake, and it's a lot of times is people just not taking care of. Oh yeah, I mean that one had 5 seats dropped in it, Doug. The Jeep Commander I've got, when I tore it down, it had 2 seats that dropped. Um, I had bought a gray '07 Charger from a car lot because they didn't want to deal with it. That one had 2 valve seats dropped in. Now these are all pre-Eagle motors. Oh, I hear you say true. And that's why I'm saying the prime example is when I got that old Ford truck, returned to a race truck. That motor had over 260 something thousand miles on it, and ran strong. I mean, that's one thing I have to say about that motor. The motor was taken care of, man. What's up, Vince from New Jersey, brother? Patrick, that'd be a question for Tony because personally, I have never done a 6 pack setup. Oh, cool deal, dude. I like those old Lincolns. Oh, it does, Paul, man. Little maintenance goes a long way. Oh, I hear you, Mopar, man. A lot of these people, I mean, and this is one of the things I do not like about the Gen 3s is their PCV setup. So much oil goes right back through the intake. And it's like with my truck I got out there, it'll use a quart of oil between oil changes. I'm getting ready to put a catch can on that one too. Kent Ward says he's torn between a 347 or a Gen 3. I hear you, Vince. Yeah, when I was talking about the K frames the other day on that car, I forgot that 64, 60, you could do it was the same K frame. Cool, Jonathan. Yep. My 97 Ram had a pin on the bottom of the intake that the gasket would go. It's so cool. Yeah, my 360 was like that too. My 2002. But I tell you what, though, I got let's see how many miles on that motor I got rid of it. My O2 had 361,000 miles, something like that, on when I got rid of it. That 360 just didn't want to quit running. Damn it, Doug. All right, Wild Rose, you have a good one, brother. And if anybody has not subscribed to Wild Rose yet, go over to his channel, give him a like, give him a sub, man. Let's get him up to 500. You can probably ask Tony in Dallas on that on Wednesday. I really didn't know what the difference was between the two small holes in the plate versus without. I don't know if it was an idling issue or an air issue. I'm not really sure. What's going on, Chris? How you doing this evening? All right, Shade Tree, have a good one, brother. But yeah, Chris, I mean they're good motors, man. As long as you keep the maintenance up on them. Oh, I hear you, Max Wedge. Mine got to the point one time I was pulling a big ass storage building with it up going uphill, and it blew a head gasket between cylinders. And man, that thing got so damn hot. The old pressure went down to zero. I mean, it was just boiling over. And I made the trip with it, unloaded, got back home, changed the oil in it, and then 2 years later, I finally decided to change the head gasket. Have a good one, Chris. Right, Randy? Mopar did. No, I have heard nothing about it. I asked Tony the other day. I'm sure they probably already had some type of thing for him already, but I haven't heard anything about it. I know last time I talked with Tony, everything was kind of dormant over there. So I have no idea who's going to be taking it over, if his partner's going to be taking it over. I know they had some builds that were not finished yet. But for some reason, everything's been kind of hush hush. So I don't know what it's all about. Oh, I hear you, Paul. The whole situation is just a little strange. I mean, I'm sorry what happened for him. I mean, I hear you, Mopar. Did I mean me as well? I mean, I hear you, Max. I had a 318 that did that. I broke two of them. I was coming from Louisville, Kentucky, heading to Florida, and that motor was so wore out, man. But it drove so smooth. It was a Chrysler New Yorker, and and it broke on me. And the oil light started flashing off and on. So I pulled off the side of the road, shut it down for a bit, fired it back up, made it through Nashville. It started doing it again, shut down again, and I made it all the way into Georgia, and then finally just had to pull in somewheres and pulled the distributor on it, and yeah, it broke, snapped in half. But yeesh. Oh, I hear you, Mopar. Mopar Man 78 says, "Have you thought about this for a T-shirt slogan: "Mopar out, married with Mopars." That's how my other half feels like it. I mean, when she first met me, I was working on my Ram Charge, and she called it my second girlfriend. Oh, I hear you, Mr. Will. Kent Ward asked, "What's the going price for a Gen 3, and what do I need to do to drop it in a 51 shoebox?" Yeah, it all depends, man. Um, I've seen them go as cheap as $1,500 in a wrecked vehicle, all the way up to 4 to 5 grand. I hear you, Max Wedge. But if you look, let's see, where was he at again? Kent. The best thing I say honestly is find one that's been wrecked. You know, if it got hit in the ass in or something, at least you knew it was running when it stopped. And buy the whole vehicle. That way, there you're getting the motor, the wiring harness, stuff like that. Then anything you don't need off of, you can turn around and sell and make some of your money back. Let's see, Jonathan, have you ever had someone tell you an engine was blown up and had a misfire only to be a choke was stuck because it was electronic on a pre-electronic car? Hmm. I bought a van that way one time. It was a 77 and Dodge van, and it was missing like crazy. The kid thought there was an issue with it. He thought he blew it up. I bought the van for $300, got it home, messed with it, pulled the distributor cap off, kind of find out the rotor button tang on it was pointing straight up. And I bent it back down, and it ran smooth as hell. And I paid like $300 for that van. I hear you, Jonathan. I felt kind of bad for the dude because I went back and saw him like a week later and explained to him it wasn't blown up. And the kid was like, "Well, can I buy it back?" And I was like, "Well, no." 10 years before I got rid of it. Yeah, I must be having some internet issues tonight. Mopar Den, nothing's been worked out on it yet. I think Tony started looking at it this week. We're probably gonna have it at our shop for a couple weeks. Kind of the main thing it's over there for is the tuning issues and getting the 6 pack working, and then we'll let Kiwi know about the drivetrain drivetrain issue, and so that way he can take it from there. Right? Kiwi's big adventure. But Kiwi's got a lot of stuff going on too, man. We've got the Hemi Bishy thing that hopefully we can get started on that. You know, body wise, hopefully by the end of the year. I've still got the motor over here, and we also got to do a '68 Barracuda, which I'm working on the 440 motor over at Tony's. But Kiwi's a busy man. That's for damn sure. Yeah, Dan, I had to come across my screen that said something about a low connection, so I don't know what that was about. It might have been something with my internet provider. Oh, I love the '68 Mopar, Dan. I mean, it was a nice car. I mean, it needs a lot of work, but she's a nice looking old girl, that's for sure. It sure is, Doug. I like the green on it though. I hear you, white trash. But yeah, some people do that, man. They'll do their own shit and screw it up and get pissed off, sell it for next to nothing, and it was a $3 part. I hear you, Doug. Well, it's like when we got that '67 Corvette for my son. I mean, I love that car. Oh shit! I tell you, Dan, it's like the same, man. It could be the simplest shit that would piss everybody off. I hear you, little Mike. And I tell you what about people not being able to diagnose stuff. I mean, it's like the mechanics we have today, and kind of went through this stuff when Ethan went to the tech school to become a mechanic. And these days, man, they're diagnosing with the computers, whatever the computer says. The problem is that's what it is. And they've lost that art of actually going into it with your hands and your brain and actually saying, well, it could be this, but it might be that, and just going in and just digging into it. Oh, I hear you, Mopar, man. Like I said, you can make stupid power with them. Oh, I love the International Scouts, Jonathan. My dad had one. Oh, I hear you, Dan. I mean, he prides himself on diagnostic skills and talent. I mean, it's an art, man. You've been working on cars long enough and you gain that knowledge. It's kind of like a feel thing. You've been around them. You already know in the back of your mind what possibly could be wrong with them. It's like I was working on my other half's brother's Ford F-150, had the 4.6 in it. And everybody kept telling him it needed a computer. It needed a computer. Dealership said it needed a computer in it. And so he brought it over to me. We worked on it back and forth, back and forth. And one moment it would hit on all 8 cylinders, and then all of a sudden it'd start missing on the driver's side. Then it would clear up and start missing on the passenger side. Something's not right here. And tore it all down. I took the crank sensor out, and the damn thing was broke on the end. And went and got a new crank sensor, and he said that's the best that truck has ever ran. Oh, I hear you, little Mike. I mean, years of driving ship boxes, yeah, you learn.